Welcome back to the Dowsing Chef. Today we're doing semolina. Semolina with a tofu stew. Okay, let's do it. First off, soy sauce, everybody's favorite. 1 liter. Why? Because you just use the whole thing up. And then you can have leftovers for lunches or following dinner. Or you can put the leftovers in the freezer. And funnily enough, we hardly ever have soy. Did I say soy sauce? Soy milk. Soy milk. We use soy sauce a lot, that's for sure. Soy milk, not so much. So if I was to use only half of that, I'd probably leave it in the fridge and never end up using it. So 1 liter serving of soy milk can be used to make the cheese sauce, or this batch of semolina. Right, we shall make this sauce. I'll put it on the small element because that's in front so you can see with the camera and stuff. Okay, olive oil. A little bit of olive oil. Okay, a fair amount of olive oil, let's face it. That's probably a tablespoon. Cover the bottom of the pan, but not super cover. It's going to be like a tomato sauce. We're using a tin of tomatoes, so this is like, you know, pantry staples. One thing that may not be a pantry staple in your kitchen, but should be, or I recommend it to be, is miso paste. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of miso paste into the oil, round about. I've had this for ages, guys. I've had it for so long. This is a weird one. I got it from like a discount place. It's barley, organic barley miso. So I didn't pay a heck of a lot for it. So heating that up in the oil. And I am going to add the spices as well. It's going to be, just tofu and tin of tomatoes. So these are the spices. I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Make it just a pinch if you don't like super spicy. I don't think this is going to be super spicy, but there's definitely going to be heat. We're going to put half a teaspoon of magical mace. Another one I recommend for at least the Dowsing Chef. I'll tell you, the pendulum is big on mace in cooking, in vegan cooking. At least in this style. We have cloves, ground cloves. 1/4 of a teaspoon, which is like a pinch. That was probably a bit more than a pinch, but good thing we love cloves around here. Clove powder. So that's nice and fragrant. The miso paste is relatively dissolving. We don't want to burn it, but see it's still sizzling away. The smarty pant thing to do is to put the tofu in now. Tofu. Chopped tofu. I won't bore you with the chopping. I did that before we recorded. You really don't have to do it like this. You can just put the tomatoes in and then the tofu. It doesn't really make a huge difference. And turning, making sure that heats up. Alright. Tin of tomatoes. And if you don't want to waste the tomato, put a little bit of water, get the last of the tasty tomatoes in. This is our sauce here. It's got a lovely color. It looks really meaty. I'm looking forward to, and I think I have ruined tonight's dinner. Look at this. No, that's fine. We're bubbling away. I never stirred that, guys. It's got a skin on the bottom. But that's okay. Well, that came to the boil real quick. So we're going to put our semolina in. Nice. So that's 1 liter. So we're doing 1.5 cups of semolina. Got my whisk. There, and we just whisk that in. Left hand today. Never thought about that when we had the kitchen. It's a right-handed kitchen. Alright, that's 1 cup. Better not snooze on this. And that's about half a cup. Whisk that in. Nicely whisk that in. Sorry about that, Julia. Alright, there we go. Oh, and this is fine semolina rather than coarse semolina. And it's going to cook way quicker. And that's not going to take too long. And here's the other thing about this, is that once it starts bubbling away, it's going to start basically doing little volcanic explosions on the big element. So I'm moving it over to the small element so it doesn't basically splatter on my face. And I'm going to move to a spoon. And that's quite thick, so if you don't like it that thick, you can add more liquid. You just add some water. Right, here we go. Oh, it's turned out well. I might add a little bit of water. I added half a cup. But I like it like this. Like, think of like mashed potato and stuff. This is a nice consistency. I think it's yum. It's a bit more in terms of creamy. And then we're going to add nutritional yeast. I've been saving this. What have we got left? 1 tablespoon, that's all we need. 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. We're going to do about half a teaspoon of black pepper powder. And this is cooking up nicely. Look at that rich colour from that barley miso. Look at that colour, eh? It's got a very fruity smell. Let's stir this up. Stir it up. And we want sage. 2 teaspoons of dried sage. Sage gives a nice savory flavour to everything it touches. Especially important for vegan dishes. Now, the smell of these two are coming together. Smelling pretty good. About a teaspoon of salt into my semolina. And if you got lumps, you just go like that and they'll get rid of the lumps. So if you don't have a whisk, don't really need a whisk. Taste time. Guess what? Tastes like semolina. Yeah, that's good. Nice and savory, nothing too out the gate, just what you need. Okay, and we're going to put same again, probably about a teaspoon of salt in this, and we're going to taste this. Yeah, I know a lot of people hate when I talk about health benefits because, hey, look at me. Never trust a skinny chef though, but what I will say is these combination of herbs and spices have a synergistic effect. That's all I can say, and that's part of what the Dowsing chef is, that there is definitely a nutrition element, and there is, believe it or not, a health element, just to trigger the super healthy people out there. Whoa, that is spicy. I was a little bit heavy with the cayenne, But you know me, I'm the saltinator. Speaking of health, needs a little bit more salt. And if you were like, you're really just purely about flavor and impressing with taste, maybe this is a Friday night dish, whatever, you got people over, you want to impress them, that could do with some sugar, but I'm definitely personally staying away from sugar. And that wasn't doused in, but just as a chef, if I was in a restaurant and someone said, what does that need, and someone was paying a fair amount of money for the dish, I'd be putting probably some vinegar and some sugar. But it doesn't need it. It's really good. It's hearty. It's for our nice autumnal day down here, Central North Island of New Zealand. So this consistency I like. You see, it's quite solid. There you go. Anyway, a few random greens here from Julia's garden. And it definitely needs, if you've got some lemon, a bit of lemon on your greens there, drizzle of olive oil, a little pinch of salt for your salad greens there, and that's it. Voila! Let's have dinner. I've got a big bit of rocket. Fresh garden vegetables just changes everything, guys. So good, really good. It's just amazing how weird spices just go. They just work. Bit of refinement, bit of restraint. Get the seasoning right. Don't be shy with your salt. Find some fresh ingredients outside of the pantry to add with your meal. It's a winner. Everyone's going to love this. Everyone. You just have to get them to try it. Like you. Hey, thanks so much. See you at the next one.